Welcome back, friends, and today we are revisiting the Grand Grimoire, the Red Dragon. Original edition 1750, new edition 2013, edited by Tarl Warwick. And I wanted to read this little passage to explain something. Okay, so there seems to be a lot of confusion about the editions of this book, and here's the reason why. As I mistakenly said in one of my other videos, I think I said something different, but this is the translation from French to English. So look at how thick this book is. Okay, now here's the very same version of the Red Dragon, and look at how thick this book is. So here's the problem, guys. There are manuscripts in the museums that there are several versions of this book of. So this here is talking about an Italian version. So let me just read an excerpt from this version. The concept behind the work, at its root, depends upon which specific version is used. It appears that the latter, Italian edition, has had certain folk rites and belief tacked into it. I have preserved from here for two reasons. Firstly, the material dates to nearly the same time period as the original manuscript anyways. Secondly, the rite specifically mentioned may indeed, if this is the steganographic work, revolving around Enlightenment philosophy masquerading as magic, be from the same general group of intellectuals, perhaps included indeed with their blessings, like the infamous Grimorium Verum, which I have also edited and released. Some versions also include material from Dilemma, which comes not from the Enlightenment, but rather the early modern period, as useless in the context of such a grimoire. I am unsure as to why such groups persist at their revisionism. So the point is this, and this is really the hard part. You have two different versions of the exact same manuscript. This is simply just 100% the Grand Grimoire / Red Dragon. Okay? Again, it's this thick. Got it? There are many versions of this book. So what he's saying is, like, for example, okay, this isn't the fucking Grand Grimoire. This is the Grand Grimoire and the Goetia stuck in the front of it. Look. Okay, now these symbols are a little different, but this is all from the original text. But we have splashings of things in this text that have nothing to do with the Grand Grimoire. Those Goetia sigils are from the Lesser Key of Solomon. So what is the guy trying to say? He's basically trying to say that to make this book more profitable and more thick, they stuck the translated French into English side by side. Oh wow, how fun. I'm going to read French and English. And then they stuck the Goetia in the front of it. So I don't want to hear about the true Grand Grimoire being French, because if this was a true Grand Grimoire, you wouldn't have the fucking Goetia stuck in the front of it to make the book thicker with other arts and stuff in it. It's a cool book. It's a really cool book. It's a great book. Let's read the back of it. The Grand Grimoire. Damn, I can barely read this. The Grand Grimoire is a foundational book of magic from the 19th century. This translation is the most accurate ever. That's a lie. And is presented with parallel French and English text. While numerous translations exist in this book, it is the public domain. This is the completely new translation from the original sources, with close attention to the interpreted Latin, Greek, and the base French text. So Latin and Greek and French are all available. So let's clear up that confusion right now. This book is printed in virtually every language you can think of in all the European languages. So what am I getting at here? This is the Grand Grimoire. This is all the information available for that topic. This is it. This is it. That's it. This is the only part of this book that you can call the Grand Grimoire. Now let's flip through this one. Much more simple, much more in tune with the regular Kabbalistic workings. You have your packed circle for Lucifer Drofakel. Whole point of this book is to, oh shit, that's right, I forgot I consecrated this because I have that symbol on my arm now. Lucifer Drofakel. So I've made my own packs with Drofakel, but this to me seems more close to what we're actually looking for, because these same symbols are in the book Grimorium Verum, which is a Latin to English translation, I think. Don't quote me on that. I may read a lot of grimoires, doesn't mean I'm a fucking expert. So anyway, if you got a hard-on for the Grand Grimoire or the Red Dragon, you might as well just buy this little $5 book and just do this ritual, because essentially what you're getting is a scholarly French translation of something that could have been put into this small of a book. Maybe double it. Okay? French, basic English, easy to read, easy to go through, translation. So you pick. I mean, if you feel like you want to have that extra information all in one book, yeah, it probably makes sense to have the Goetia connected to the Grand Grimoire, because they are demons and it deals with Rothfakel and other spirits, but it was not what it was intended by the author, I believe. You know, think about it. 1750. New edition, 2015. Okay, what new edition? So what was the edition before this? So keep in mind, friends, everybody that publishes grimoires takes the grimoire, they change it a little bit, add a little, take a little, put a few new pictures in it, they sell the book. That's from what I can see is happening to all the ancient grimoires. Do you have any idea how many copies I have of the Key of Solomon and the Lesser Key of Solomon? I must have 6 versions of each fucking book. It's ridiculous. So everyone who gets their hands on a manuscript really goes to town trying to beef it up so they can make it look like something more than it actually is, when the simple fact is the Red Dragon material consists of this much. We're talking, wow, 57 pages, okay? 57 pages opposed to a book that has, with the contents approaching 420 pages. There's 420 pages in this book. The question is, how much of this book will you physically use, other than enjoying reading French, which, well, unless you're French. If you're French, then it makes sense to own this copy, because you can just do the whole thing with the French version. You don't even have to worry about English translation. It's people like myself who want to translate it to my language, English, so that I can actually perform the ritual. Not necessary if you buy the, what's his name? Tarl Warwick edition. So I hope you've enjoyed this rant. And the reason I'm on this rant is because so many people were like, dude, it's French. It's French. I'm French. You should know it's French. Well, yeah, I know it's fucking French, but I also know that all these other books that have been published are in different languages. All kinds of different languages. Latin, Greek, French, English. It's been translated into at least 5 languages. So if you want, you could probably find those versions if you somehow speak Latin or Greek. But we don't. Most of us don't. So, you know, it's a very interesting work. I like it. I like the art that's in it because it's got some other pictures that I am not familiar with. Looks like someone added some pictures of demons that maybe they created. But let's not get sidetracked, friends. This grimoire, like all grimoires, is sadly just the same material being pushed out into different books. So don't get yourself all worked up thinking, like they said, this is the true edition. The true edition does not have the lesser key of Solomon put in the front of it. It doesn't. It's just this. So I hope you understand why I'm not real impressed with this French version, because all it is basically French version, English version side by side with the Goetia put in the front. How much was this book? Probably don't even have a price on it. Suggested retail. Doesn't matter. It was probably like 20 bucks. A good friend of mine, Demonic Angel, also read this book, and I think she really enjoyed it. Just funny how much feedback I got on this, because I mistakenly said that it was translated, I think, into Latin or Latin to French to English or something. But you have to understand that these grimoires are in museums. They're not in English. The people that go to make money profiting and selling all these books, they go and they do their best to translate what's in a museum. So, you know, it takes some scholarly work to do that, and I appreciate that. But what I don't appreciate is taking something and adding to it to make it your version when you really didn't need to do that. All you had to do, if you wanted to do your version, is just put your name on it and publish this. Point taken, right? So beware when reading grimoires. It's a slippery slope. Just take them with a grain of salt. These are ancient texts. The names of spirits and demons are probably the most important things that are in these books. The list of names, the ritual circles and stuff that are in it are pretty exclusive. The Circle of Pax is exclusive to the Grand Grimoire. I have not seen that in any other book. And there are very, very interesting spirits to work with just in the Grand Grimoire themselves. And, you know, I do realize that there are some spirits in the Grand Grimoire that are the same name or same spirits or similar spirits to those in the Goetia. So I understand why they would just put the Goetia in it, but the Goetia and the Grand Grimoire are not the same book. Dark blessings, my friend, and sorry for saying that it was translated into a language that wasn't French. I recommend you buy this one. Dark blessings.